Freedom of time is my ultimate goal, and because of that, I highly value both productivity and efficiency. That's also the reason I use Spotify for podcasters. You see, they make it insanely easy to record, produce, edit, distribute, and do anything else I need to for my podcast right from my desktop or even from my phone if I'm on the road. I also love that they've allowed you guys, the listeners, to interact with me through polls or sharing your thoughts and experiences on the topics that we discuss. Best of all, despite them offering all these cool services, it's 100% free, and you know what? They even pay me for simply telling you about it. If you have something to share, you want to start creating supplemental income while doing limited work, and you want to buy yourself some freedom of time as well, start now at www.spotify.com/podcasters or download the Spotify for Podcasters app. Trust me, you'll love it. Hey guys, welcome back. In today's episode, we are going to talk about broker deposit bonuses. Are they real? Are they fake? Should you take them? Are they a mistake? We'll talk about all of that in today's episode of the Trading Coach Podcast, along with apparently my aspiring next career as a rapper or poet. But today's question comes from one of you guys, the viewers. They contacted me during YouTube, and I always like to say this, right? A lot of you guys are shy about reaching out. You don't want to feel dumb, or you feel like I'm on some type of pedestal where I can't see below the questions that are answered or that are asked, or you're a bother. Trust me, it's not the case at all. If you ask anyone, I make a habit, and I've done this since day one before I was where I'm at today, of answering and addressing every single question that I see, whether it's remedial and it sounds dumb, because trust me, I was that person that asked a lot of dumb questions when I first started, or whether it's super advanced. And hey, if I don't know it, I'll just tell you that I don't know, or maybe it'll encourage me to do some research and look it up. And I just don't want you guys to be shy about reaching out. I am here to be a resource for you, and hopefully I can provide that value to you in all the content that I put out, whether it's here on the Trading Coach Podcast, on YouTube, on the Tier 1 trading platform, whatever it may be. But the question I got today was, Akil, I guess question, comment, both. Said, Akil, there's a broker offering a deposit bonus, but it's not really yours at all. It's meant to artificially inflate your account, so they call it a credit. So to lose it, it's just your balance getting deducted. Is it worth it, Akil, or not? I don't really see you talking about deposit bonuses, something like that. Or maybe I just missed it on the YouTube channel. Can you please do an episode on it? And I want to start off by kind of describing what a deposit bonus is. Now, the specific case that this trader is talking about sounds a little iffy. And as always, with anything out there, you got to be careful. But a deposit bonus is this. So essentially, to take things back to the very beginning, right? In order to trade the financial markets, you need a broker. They are going to be your middleman between you and your access to the financial markets, and all of your trading goes through them. It's funny, we went through this weird stage where, I first started my career, there were not a lot of quality brokers out there. But probably a lot more shady brokers. There were people like, and I'm just making this up, so I don't try to sue me if there's an actual company out there, but there were companies like, hey, backalley.broker.com, like just blatant scams, but there are only a handful of actually legit ones. Then, as retail trading has gotten more popular over the years, more and more brokers have entered the space, mainly because it's a very great business plan, right? They make money no matter what. It is a middleman. It's no different than being like a loan shark, but instead of kind of hustling people for their money, you get their money up first, meaning that you get paid to kind of be the middleman between transactions. You don't really do much on your side, but you make money for it, right? So it's a great job. But there are more and more brokers out there. And what happens when that occurs is that the space becomes more crowded. And one of the best comparisons that I can make with brokers is going to be like credit cards, right? There are so many credit cards out there. These days, you don't have to have great credit at all to get a credit card, right? They're going to give you some type of balance. So because so many credit card companies are fighting with each other, it's really shifted the balance where it's like, we don't really depend on the credit card company. They have to sell themselves to us. So to do that, they've got to make it a little bit intriguing. They got to enter this, hey, zero balance transfer, or hey, you get these bonus points, or you get blue cash, or you get money back whenever you spend, right? These little kind of things that make us want to go with that particular provider. Well, the Forex space, or the trading space in general, but the brokerage space has gotten pretty similar, where there are many brokers out there. There are a lot of retail traders out there. It's really hard to separate a lot of these brokers because they just basically do the same thing. I mean, you can look at the differences between spreads and commissions, right? Same things looking at the differences between interest rates and credit cards and stuff like that, and annual fees. But aside from that, right, the job is pretty much the same. Act as that middleman. So what do they do to make themselves look better, right? Fluff up their feathers and attract the mate? Well, they got to put out these little kind of offers. And one of those offers that we're seeing now in the industry are deposit bonuses, where basically when you start an account, right, the broker will give you money in your account. You know, some of it is 100% I've seen, some of it is 50%, some of it is a certain dollar amount. Basically, when you put money in, they say, hey, if you put $1,000 in, we'll match it 50% and we'll give you a $500 bonus credit in your account. Now, it's very important to understand that this is not cash, because if it were cash, it would be a very easy scheme to get around it. Actually, this reminds me, right? There was a broker that did this. I hope I didn't take advantage of it, so I won't get in trouble, but I hope I'm not snitching on anyone else. But when I was first starting off, probably about like year 5 of trading, I was involved in this mastermind group, and this is when more and more brokers started entering the scheme or the place. And there was this broker, I forgot the name, which is probably a good thing because I don't want to get in trouble, but they offered this deal that said, whenever you place a trade, a transaction, right, we will pay you this much or credit this much towards your account, right? And the idea made sense because, right, the job of the broker is to encourage, well, 1, to get your business, right? Choose them as a broker. 2, to encourage activity, right? I know a lot of people out there think that brokers are out there to get you and steal your money and hunt your stops. That's actually not the case, right? Again, brokers act as the middleman. Their job is to, hey, you want to place a trade, you have to go through me. I'm going to make sure your trade gets done. In return of that service, I'm going to charge you a fee. It does not matter whether your trade wins or loses. Just the fact that you are taking a trade, you are entering a trade, you are exiting a trade, that is all that matters to the broker. So when you think about the idea that your broker wants to see you fail, that's not a good business plan. Your broker wants to see you survive as long as possible, right? That your broker wants to see you do anything but fail, because as long as you are consistently active in the market, you are paying them money, whether you are a break-even trader, whether you are making money, right? So the idea of this, like, hey, we're going to pay you every time you place a trade, was to keep the trader trading, especially new traders, because new traders, already we have this kind of gambling mentality where it's like, we just want actions. We want to trade as much as possible. Then our broker is encouraging us, whether it's by videos or emails, to encourage as much as possible, because they know that most traders are going to lose or quit in about 90 days. So they have this like 3-month window where they've got to squeeze as much juice out of you as possible. This is kind of the background of the broker. I'm fortunate enough to be, I don't want to call it friends, but I've had relationships with brokers in the past where I've just gotten to speak with them and kind of, you know, they've been 100% real with me, which is good because I can deliver that content to you. But it sounds bad, but it is what it is. They know the failure rate of traders. They know what traders do. They're a business. They want to get everything out of you. It's the same way I was talking about Paramount Plus the other day, another streaming app. I'm now signed up for an annual thing, right? Because 1, I wanted to watch the U.S. men in the Gold Cup over the summer, and I needed to subscribe, and they suckered me in because it was free. They said, hey, Akil, watch this soccer tournament for free. Don't worry about it. It's on us. I'm like, word, that's okay. And then before you know it, tournament's over. I got my alarm set to cancel. Christian Pulisic gets transferred to AC Milan. Guess who shows the Serie A games? Paramount Plus. They come back at me. They must have known I'm a soccer nerd. They come back at me. Hey, Akil, I know you're about to leave, right? Your subscription, your free thing ends in like 2 days. But what if we can offer you the whole year for 50% off? We know you want to watch Pulisic and AC Milan. We know your kids are soccer nerds. Come on, just do it. And what did I do? I did it. Now I got another streaming app I'm trying to reduce these things. I got everything in the world, right? And Apple TV got me for messy, but now I got another one, right? They're getting me, but they know what they're doing. Your broker's the same way. It knows our tendencies and it's going to take advantage of them as much as possible. So this one place was giving you money every time you trade it. The problem was someone in accounting must have messed up because their math was off. The amount that we got paid per executing a trade was greater than the spread, so the cost of doing the trade. Now, in my mind, I would guess that they assume most traders are going to lose, so blah, 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 something, but it didn't make any sense. So I'm part of this mastermind group at the time, right? Brilliant minds, some of them much brilliant, more brilliant than me. And they got to the point where they recognized this. We kept it on the low. They started exploiting it, right? People in that group started trading just like their whole job was to come in for like 3 hours and just execute as many trades as they can because they were getting, and then get out at whatever break even, right? Because they were getting this credit. And then one guy was smart and just developed the bot. He developed the bot. So instead of being at his computer taking these trades manually, he developed the bot. So it just took like trades like every like 3 minutes. And once something was like, once the spread was covered on the thing, he would just exit and take his winnings from the little whatever transaction deal they had going on. It was brilliant. Now they shut it down really quick. It only lasted for I think like a month, and they caught on. They're like, oh crap, this is a bad idea. But that was probably the beginnings of these type of things. I thought it was a cool story because that was a great way of using your brain to exploit someone that was trying to exploit us. But going back to these fees or these deposit bonuses, I don't think they're a scam at all. I think it is a marketing scheme to get you involved with a broker and to keep you active in trading, right? Because a lot of people that are interested in these type of fees, and probably a lot of brokers that are offering these type of deposit bonuses, I should say. Sorry, I keep saying fees because that's what I'm used to talking about when we talk about brokers. A lot of them are probably traders that don't have a big account starting size. So the broker already knows, hey, we're going to get you in. You're starting with like $100. You're going to lose it on like day one. You're going to be gone. It doesn't really help the broker out. So if we help you out some and we increase your available trading capital, that keeps you in the game longer. Hopefully it stops you from blowing your account as quick, hopefully. And again, you can place more transactions, which means the broker gets paid more money. So it's really a win-win on both sides, assuming your trader is not going to do anything dumb with it. But you probably would do the same dumb stuff without it, right? But as a trader, it gives you a little bit of extra capital to play with. Maybe it allows you to do stuff, right, that you weren't able to do before because of lot size or something like that, especially if you're starting with a very, very small amount. Maybe it allows you to survive the first drawdown a little bit more if you kind of hop right into a losing streak where beforehand your account would have been blown. From the broker's perspective, it intrigues traders, it gets them in, and it gets them more business, which is all great. Now, a few things that you need to pay attention to. One, you need to realize that a lot of this credit is credit, so it's not cash. So, based on the story I just told you, you can't just sign up, get the bonus, then close your account and cash everything out. From what I've heard, and again, I've never traded with any of these bonuses or anything like that. From what I've heard is you got to read the fine print. There are some very strict rules on what you can withdraw. My guess would be that you can only withdraw the amount of capital that you originally started with. That's how I would phrase it if I were doing a deal with this, meaning that if you were given an extra $1,000, you can't just kind of cash out on day one. If you were matched $1,000 for the $1,000 you put in, if you were to withdraw your money, and it's probably within a certain period of time, maybe a year, 5 year, whatever like that, you can only withdraw up to the amount that you actually put in, as the bonus counts as like a credit. I would feel very, very confident that that's in the fine print, because it would be not very smart to do it otherwise. So you got to be careful with that. Another one is that what this trader said is, this is interesting, where he said that he's heard of one where you get the bonus, but when you lose, the losses are only deducted from your initial startup. So if you put $1,000 in, if you get matched $1,000 for your broker, you have $2,000 of trading capital. If you lose, your account balance goes from, instead of $2,000 to $1,999. If you lose $1, right, it goes from the loss comes from your starting capital. So that initial $1,000 you put in, it goes down to $999. I would be very careful of stuff like that. And the reason is I don't think it's scammy or anything like that, but it makes it very hard to manage your drawdown and avoid margin call, right? Because if you're doing your position sizing, and if you're basing your position sizing off of your account size, which includes the credit, right? That's your available capital to trade. All of a sudden, you could be in a handful of trades. You can hit a drawdown. That drawdown may be small in comparison to your total allotment of cash, but bigger due to the 50% that's actually being counted as your losses. And you can be in a position where you simply, are in a trade that goes against you. Maybe you have a few trades on at the same time and they're all in the negative, but nothing out of the norm. But you get hit with a margin call where they shut everything down and close all your trades out, even though you're still in a good position. Again, I don't think you should ever be in a position where you blow 50% of your account anyway, but you guys get the point here. So I would be careful with stuff like that. So moral of the story at the end of the day, if you were curious about this, I don't think it's a scam. I think it's just like your credit card companies. It's something that is beneficial to the trader, and it's something, it shouldn't be the say all be all in deciding a broker. I still think you want to look for a reputable broker. 2, you want to look for a broker that has good spreads and commissions or fees, right? But this would be the bonus. If all else is equal, if one is matching you 100% and one is matching you 50%, and there's no funny stuff in the small print, right? Then I think this is something that can put it over the edge, because it just allows you to get a little bit of a jump start to your trading, or have a little bit of a bigger safety net in your trading. So again, I haven't experienced this. I've been in the game well before this was happening. But if you're someone that has experienced this, or someone that has used it, please do us a favor. By us, I mean the Trading Coach Podcast community, and leave us a comment. Again, under YouTube, you can shoot me a DM and I will share it. You can share it under here on Spotify. There's a little Q&A thing that allows you to share, and I can publish it so everyone can see. But share your experience, give some peace of mind, or maybe share some experience if it went the negative way and give some warning. Either way, right, I want this community to be one that helps each other out, and that is a great way to do so by sharing your knowledge, because mine is limited on some of these subjects like this one today. So do that, and I'll see you guys next episode. Until then, plan your trade, trade your plan, take care. Now, before you take care, do me a favor, leave me a rating and a review. Again, a lot of you guys love this podcast. How do I know? Because you tell me. Just don't tell me, tell the world. Give me 5 stars, leave me a review saying the podcast is awesome. That is the best way you can support. We just cracked the top 50 on another podcasting, another podcasting thing. I think it's called Good Pods or something like that. Top 50 in investing, which is awesome. I want to do that in every single poll out there, and I need your support to do it. So leave me a rating, leave me a review, and I'll see you guys next episode.